on which fundamental principle electrical generator works or transformer works. So before we start understanding about the generator and transformer and other electrical machines, we should know the fundamental principles on which these machines are working. Do you have any idea, anyone? Yes, pardon? Your voice is not. Yes, yes. Is the law of electromagnetic induction, and it is known as Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, right? Now I am sharing my screen. Is it visible to everyone? Kindly give the feedback. Is
Yes,
my
sir.
screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay, okay. So first we will look into the relation, you can tell history of the electromagnetic induction or the relation between electricity and magnetism. Why I am giving you this emphasis on the history? Because that will inspire us, right? Keep so that there will be no noise in between. Someone's mic is unmuted, so mute it. So if you go to the history of electromagnetic induction, electricity, and the scientist or physicist Ørsted was a Danish physicist. He discovered that when a current is passing through a conductor, it always is accompanied by a magnetic field. Right. So this is the which he found out. That means he was the first to found out any connection between electricity and magnetism. Right. So what he found out that it is possible to generate, it is possible to produce magnetic field from electricity, right? In 1820, Ørsted in that it was mentioned that a compass needle which was deflected from a magnetic north by an electric current, confirming a direct relationship between electricity and magnetism. That means here Ørsted has found out the relationship between the electricity and magnetism, or you can tell the magnetism can be produced from electricity. So he has converted, you can tell, electricity to magnetism. Right? So this is the discovery you can tell about. In the same time, Michael Faraday was an English scientist who was also working in the same area. So he thought, hey, if I am able to find out the reverse thing, that means if I am able to generate electricity from magnetism, then it will be more useful to the mankind. So he started working on that. Right? He was an English scientist who was contributed to the study of magnetism and electrochemistry. His main discoveries include the principle underlying electromagnetic induction, diamagnetism, and electricity. To remind him, because he also studied this Ørsted principle, because it was published in 1820. So to remind himself that he need to find out the reverse relationship, because he thought that if it is possible to generate electricity from magnetism, it will be more useful. Lab, and it was believed that he kept himself with a piece of magnet forever. He kept a piece of magnet in his pocket forever, 24 hours. उसने 24 घंटे अपने पास एक मैग्नेट का पीस रखा to remind him कि he need to find out this law. And in 1831, in 1831, he made this discovery as Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So this is the basic history, right? Clear? Any question here? So it produces magnetic field. Can magnetic field produce electric currents? So yes, and this electromagnetic induction, if you go to the stuff, it was discovered independently. It was discovered by Michael Faraday. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. It was more popular, but it was also discovered independently by Joseph Henry and Michael Faraday both. This is the Faraday discovery. This is an informal statement of Faraday's law, and this is an experiment which demonstrated in 1830 Faraday has demonstrated the principle using this setup. This is the picture of this experimental setup. And the informal statement Faraday's discovery was that there is in a coil of wire, there is a current in the coil of wire if and only if magnetic field passing through the coil is changing. It's very important. Right, current in the coil, that means EMF is induced only when there is a magnetic field which is passing through the coil is changing. If you keep this magnetic field constant, then you do not get any EMF or any current in the coil. Right. So this is the informal statement of Faraday's law. The induced EMF in a circuit, now we formulate, we make it in a more formal manner. The induced EMF in a circuit is proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Faraday is actually given, right? The first law gives you the idea of EMF induction, that when there is a relative moment, there is a change in magnetic field, and EMF is induced in the conductor. So first law gives you the idea, and second law gives the magnitude details of EMF, how much EMF will be induced. And a magnitude that is given here also. What are the factors which affects the magnitude of EMF? So here it is, the induced EMF in a circuit is proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Right, d5 by dt. So the magnitude of EMF is proportional to this rate of change of flux. Clear? Michael Faraday discovered this induction in 1831. Look at this experiment to explain the Faraday system. There is a coil, right, made up of conductor and a resistor, and this is a magnet, piece of magnet which is producing magnetic field. And now you are moving this magnet with velocity v. Clear? Moving the magnet induces current I here. That means if you move this magnet from to right or right to left, and you will find a current in the coil. If you connect a galvanometer, you will find a deflection of galvanometer. Reversing the direction of rotation from left to right, right to left, then this current direction will also be reversed. Right, and moving the loop induces the current. Now what second thing, you keep this piece of magnet stationary and move this loop to and fro. Then also there is an EMF induced in the coil. What is important, in order to induce EMF in the conductor, I use the word, there must be a between two. Between two means what? The magnetic field and the conductor. Right, if there is a relative motion, either conductor should rotate or magnetic field should rotate. Then it will induce a current in the coil. The induced EMF, induced current is set to EMF. Current swa mate why it is because there is an EMF induced in the loop, and as the loop is closed, the current will flow. Clear? The same thing experiment you used to do during your school days. This is a galvanometer with center 0, you know it, right? And this is a magnet, piece of magnet, and this galvanometer is connected with a coil, closed coil. Because if you want current to flow, that the circuit must be closed. If there is no movement of this bar, then the magnetic field is still there. Look, this magnetic field is still produced by the bar, and it is also linking with this conductor. But the deflection of galvanometer is 0. That means no EMF is induced here. So this reminds you the Faraday stuff. What is that? This one. Current in a coil, the magnetic field is changing. Constant magnetic field cannot produce EMF. So that has been proved here in this experimental setup. If you do not move this, even if you keep this magnet very close to the coil, if you do not move it, there will be no EMF, no current. No induced EMF, hence no current. Now, if you are taking the magnet up towards the coil, towards the galvanometer coil, then what will happen? Then this rate of change of flux is increasing and you will find the current in one direction. So galvanometer shows the deflection in this direction, right direction. If you take the magnet, piece of magnet back, move downwards, you will find that the current direction is up now. Clear? Any question, any doubt here? કોઈ પણ question હોય, કોઈ પણ query હોય, you always feel free to ask. Right? And inform your friends to join only with your name and roll number. Someone joining with this kind of names, I will not allow them to join. Right? You must rename yourself as your name as well as roll number. Otherwise, I will not allow you to join the class. Clear? Any doubt, any query here till now? Then you can.
Sir, I don't have roll number.
No issue, you can join with the name. Those who do not have a roll number, today the sir has shared one Excel sheet in the group. You can check in that group,
Yeah,
you will find this.
Mine is not there, sir.
Okay, it will come later on. Within a few days, you might be admitted in second round or so. So that will be not be there. Clear? Any query in the topic what I have discussed till now? Then you can ask.
no, sir.
Okay, so we'll move ahead. So this is the basic stuff. A changing magnetic field, whether the intensity of magnetic field is changing or there is some moment, will induce an EMF. So this is the first law you can give. It gives you idea how to induce an EMF. So what you need in order to produce or in order to generate EMF, you need actually two things. Chief requirement is one, the presence of magnetic field. Right, because if there is no magnetic field, then it is not possible for you to generate. So the foremost requirement is the presence of magnetic field. Right, and the second requirement is what you need? Coil or a conductor. Right, then is a relative motion here between two. Relative motion means relative motion between the magnetic field and the coil. Then you will find that, and if the circuit is closed, in a closed circuit, the changing magnetic field induces an EMF, and because of that, you will have an electric current here. Right? So this is the Faraday's first law, you can tell. And second, that the rate of change of magnetic field will decide the magnitude of EMF. Clear? This is the experimental setup, symbolic what Faraday used in 1831, symbolic diagram of that. He used one iron core. He wound the coil, right? Then he has given supply through a battery, and to the second iron coil, a galvanometer is connected, right? So when you either close or open this switch, right, you will find the deflection in the galvanometer, because this will work as an electromagnet. So when you give supply to through this battery, current will be flowing through this coil. It will produce the magnetic field. That magnetic field links with this coil and induces an EMF here. Right. So changing this switch on and off will induce an EMF. Again, the same stuff what you've seen, right? You take an ammeter or galvanometer, right? Take one core, found a coil surrounding it, and take a piece of bar magnet with N and S. When there is no relative motion, the first diagram, case A, right? Here the bar magnet is stationary, it is not moving. Or multimeter. So when there is no relative motion between the coil of wire and the bar magnet, there is no current in the coil. Right. Current will be induced in one direction and magnet moves towards the coil. So now in this B case, you are taking this magnet towards the coil. So you will have current induction in one direction. Current also induces, but in opposite direction. When you take the bar magnet out from the coil, away from the coil, see. So you can see the direction of current in case B and case C are different. Lenz law. Faraday's law gives the direction of and also the direction of induced current, right? But Lenz law is a very simple way to get the direction straight with very less efforts. Lenz law states that the induced EMF is directed. That means the direction of induced EMF will be such that any induced current, because of induced EMF, we have seen that the induced current will flow. It will oppose the change in the magnetic flux. In other words, you can tell that the current from the induced EMF will produces a magnetic field which will always oppose the original magnetic field. So it opposes the cause of production. It opposes the cause of production, and this relates to the law of energy conversion also. So when you are converting energy from one form to another form, say from electrical to mechanical to electrical, then there is inside, suppose you are working in a generator or you are working in a motor. So motor is converting electrical energy into mechanical energy. So when you are converting electrical energy into mechanical energy, inside the motor there is a opposition force which will try to oppose your energy conversion. right? And the energy which is actually required to overcome that opposition is converted into the useful energy. So it is easier if you conclude when you decrease magnetic flux, then EMF is created magnetic field. If you are increasing the flux, then EMF creates opposing magnetic field, right? So this statement of Lenz's law also you should remember. It should always oppose the cause of production. I'm repeating again, the current from the induced EMF produce a magnetic field which will always oppose the original change in the magnetic flux. So this is about the Lenz's law. Clear? Any query, any questions in basic of Faraday law or Lenz's law? Then you can always ask. કોઈને કંઈ પણ doubt હોય તો always feel free to ask. હમણાં જ we have learned that if there is no opposition, there is no question, then there is no gain. You cannot learn, right? So feel free to ask your queries. I will share my screen again.
Hello, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, Lenz's law समझाओ ना, sentence है जी एक बार, please.
Okay, no issue. So Lenz's law is that it opposes the cause of production. You can tell in a broad is like students. It opposes the very cause of production. Simple example આપો કે suppose after attending the lectures today, તમે સાંજે ઘરે બેઠા હો, 3-4 lectures lab attend કર્યું હોય, right? અને તમારા મમ્મી કે પપ્પા એવું કે ભાઈ શું કરે છે દોસ્ત, ચાલ ભણવા બેસ. So what is your reaction? No, I attended enough lectures today, બહુ ભણ્યો છું, today I will not do anything, right? And on a holiday, on a Sunday, so daddy એમ કે ચાલ બેટા આપણે we'll wash a car, you help me. Car wash કરી નાખે, two wheeler કરી નાખીએ, two wheeler wash. તો આપણે કહીશું no papa, I have to study. ભણવાનું ઘણું છે, I want to study. So like that, Lenz's law states that it is opposes the cause of production. So if you take, if you go to the previous slide, then one more, this one, because this will we explain Lenz's law in a simple manner. Take this case A only. Here you are moving the magnet upwards. So this is the original magnetic field. This magnetic field, blue, is your original. Because due to that magnetic field, due to the change in this original magnetic field, you will have current in this coil. You will have induced EMF, right? So first, if we mention here, you will have the original magnetic field, right? So from original magnetic field, what you will have? You will have induced EMF. And as the circuit is closed, as per Faraday's law, you will have induced current. So that current is flowing, right? And it is indicated by this deflection of galvanometer. So from original magnetic field, you will have EMF. From that EMF, you will have the current. Now, as per the Oersted, if you go to the basic of our relation between electricity and magnetism, તો Oersted શું કહ્યું છે કે when the current is flowing, so this is also applicable here, because now the current is passing through this coil. So this current will produce a new magnetic field due to the current in this coil, right? So Lenz law શું કહે છે કે this direction of current is such that it will set up a magnetic field which will oppose this original magnetic field, right? So that is what the statement of Lenz law is here. The current from the induced EMF will produce a magnetic field. So this is a new magnetic field produced by this current in the oppose the original magnetic field. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got it.
So again, this you can indicate if we move the magnets towards the loop. We try to understand Lenz law using this concept. This is a coil, loop, right? And this is a piece of bar magnet. If we move towards the loop, what will happen? The flux B will increase. Obviously, the flux B, this will increase, right? This is the original flux produced by this bar magnet. It will increase. So Lenz law શું કહે છે, due to this flux, as per Faraday's law, EMF will be induced in the, due to this EMF, current will be producing in the coil. So this is that induced current in the coil. Now, as per Lenz law, the current induced in this coil, right, will generate a field that is B conjugate that will cause the main flux B, original flux B. And this is true. And how this is true? I will give one practical example. Because if there is no opposition, તો શું થાય? Suppose you તમે ફેનની સ્વિચ ઓન કરો છો એટલે શું થાય છે? તમારી electrical energy is converting to mechanical energy, right? You are converting energy. So the fan blades will start rotating, mechanical energy. Now suppose, as I told you, here it is opposing in the form of magnetic field. So over there also there is a to mechanical, you will find some opposition. So the opposition ne karane શું થાય છે? You have to give the energy continuously. You stop giving the energy, fan will stop. But if there is no opposition, તો શું થાય? You have to switch on the fan, then you can switch off. તો પણ a fan continues 24 hours, 365 days rotating, which is not possible, right? Because energy conversion will always have some opposition, right? So this is about the Lenz law. Now, if we move this magnet towards the loop, the B will increase, the current will increase, it will oppose, right? Clear? So this is about the Lenz law. Now, motional EMF, that means rotational or dynamical induced EMF. There are actually two types of EMF. Faraday consideration માટે. One is this motional EMF, or you can tell the dynamically induced EMF, in which some dynamism is involved. Dynamism means movement, motion. Either the coil is moving or the magnetic field is moving. The flux through them change because the magnetic field change with the time. Right? So now trying the loop in a uniform and constant magnetic field. That means you can do this also. You can do the physical movement in a constant field, constant રાખો, એમાં movement કરો તો પણ EMF induced થશે, right? So that is known as dynamically induced EMF. Another one is in which there is no movement. I will example also. It is known as statically induced EMF. There is no movement. It's a static, right? So look at the examples. This is the example of dynamically induced EMF, in which this is also example of dynamically induced EMF, in which we are moving the bar magnet, right? Physical movement. But if you go to this example, there is no physical movement here. Look, the original setup of a Faraday. Nothing is moving. This core is stationary, winding is also stationary. But this change in switch, change in current, the field produced is changing. And in a current, you will have the EMF. Right? So Arita, you can have the dynamic induced EMF and the statically induced EMF. Here, so this is what about dynamical induced EMF. But you are putting a coil loop and it is rotating at the field, moving at some angle. So it will also have an EMF, right? So this is the basic of electrical rotating loop. It is known as rotating loop. This is an alternating or AC generator. Clear? Any doubt? So you can have a new source. We have a conducting loop in a magnetic field. And if you rotate that loop or magnetic field physically, then you can have an EMF. This is a new source of EMF. This can by changing area, changing magnetic field, or even changing the angle between. Remember the word. You need relative movement. Right. This source, this EMF which is generated can be used in electrical circuit. Right. And this is what you have to do. You have to do some work to move the loop or to change the B. Nothing is free in this world. Right? In order to generate, in order to produce electrical energy, you have to give mechanical energy. Nothing is free. Right? A simple loop basic electrical generator. Now, this is basic comparison of electrostatic field and induced electric field. But before that, again, if you have any doubt, I will keep discussion time for a few minutes. कोई पण query होए in this simple loop generator, statical induced EMF, dynamical induced EMF, Faraday's law, Lenz's law, let me know. Okay.
Sir, with the help of
Since
Lenz
there
law,
is no query.
sir,
Yes, tell me.
sir, with the help of Lenz law, we are able to find the direction of induced EMF. We can also find its value, exact value, by Lenz law.
Only in giving you the direction of Lenz's law. Very good
Okay.
question. If you want to find out the magnitude of EMF, then you have to use the second law of Faraday, that the magnitude of induced EMF is proportional to rate of change of flux linkages. Rate of change of flux linkages. Right. So the equation is what?
Minus d phi by dt.
Yes. So I will explain that here. Minus d phi by dt. Right. So for that, just a minute, I am going to share the screen. And then I will explain that concept. Right. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you take this EMF induced as per the second, and that equation is E equals to minus N, to be precise, d phi by dt. Right. So what is it came from? Actually, if you remember the statement, the EMF induced is proportional to of change of the word used is what? It is the rate of change of flux linkage. I have written here because it is not the flux leakage. Leakage and can you differentiate? For example, there are 52 students right now here in this lecture online, right? You have a class of around 66 admitted students, right? So those 52 who are attending the lecture, they are known as flux linkage, right? And somewhere else, they are known as leakage. That word is a flux leakage. Right? So there should not be a leakage, there should be a flux linkage. Flux linkage doesn't give you any guarantee of EMF induction. તમે બધા lectures attend કરો છો, you are sitting in all the class, so whatever I am explaining or I am speaking out, everything is linking with you. બરાબર છે, બધું જ તમારી સાથે માઇન્ડ સાથે લિંક થશે, એગ્રી? But does it ensure that everyone will score maximum in BEE subject, AA grade to all students? No, because how much EMF is induced is proportional to the rate of gauge. So here N is number of turns and phi is the flux. So 52 students have attended the lecture today into the flux what I have delivered. There are some students who are sitting constant, do not responding, mobile ચાલુ કરીને એક બાજુમાં મૂકી દીધો છે. They are not giving any attention here. અથવા attention આપી રહ્યા છે તો they might be sleeping in your bed. Right? Remind, if this online lecture has a threat also. You have to sit in the lecture as if you are sitting in the physical classroom. But you are not sitting that, so તમારું concentration નહીં આવે. Someone is watching, someone is sleeping in the bed or sofa and watching the lecture. So there will be no, because this N5 will not give you EMF induction. Khali lecture baru, attend karu does not ensure you any good marks, because what you need, Faraday શું કહ્યું છે, you need a maximum rate of change of flux linkage. D by dt થવું જોઈએ. And this N is constant, so we take N out and it is d phi by dt. So how much flux linking with you keeps on changing. તમારા મગજમાં એને કારણે શું વાઇબ્રેશન આવે છે, શું વિચારો આવે છે, that will be the magnitude of EMF. And exact number of turns, the flux in Webers, then you will find out the exact EMF induced. And this minus sign is put here. Why?
Because of Lenz's law.
Yes, yes, exactly. To credit Lenz law that the direction of this induced EMF is in opposition to the cause of production. Right? Of magnitude of EMF. I hope it is clear now. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
You can ask. We have one slide from Lenz law. We'll see application of Lenz law, and then we'll be moving towards session conclusion, right? you are supposed to keep yourself muted. There should not be any noise from the other side because you might be there somewhere else. I am sharing my screen again. So this is the just the formal comparison of electrostatic field and induced electric field. Electrostatic, you might have observed electricity at rest. Winter you have some cases of electrostatic energy. તમે કોઈ પ્લાસ્ટિક ચેર ને કે કોઈને ટચ કરો ને suddenly you will feel some current discharge. So that is conservative in nature, while induced EMF is non-conservative in nature. You cannot conserve. Electricity cannot be stored, right? Work or energy difference does not depend on path here, while work or energy depends on the path. તમે જે path લેશો, if you travel more, if you read more, if you have more rate of change of flux linkage, you will have induced EMF. This is caused by stationary charges or some EMF sources, while this is caused by changing magnetic field. Clear? Lenz law. Again, to conclude, the SI unit is volt. The minus sign of this induction is due to the fact that induced EMF will always oppose the change, and it is hence the statement is repeated again. The current from the induced EMF will produce a magnetic field which will always oppose the original change in the magnetic field. So how to determine the polarity of induced EMF? To determine whether the magnetic flux that penetrates a coil is increasing or decreasing, that you need to determine. The magnetic flux which is penetrating a coil is increasing or decreasing. Find the step. The direction of induced magnetic field must be so that it can oppose the change in flux. So by adding or subtracting from the original magnetic field, right? So once you got this, then determine the direction. The polarity of the induced can be assigned because conventional current is directed out of the positive terminal through the external circuit and negative terminal, right? This is the application of, right, magnetic field lines. Look at the diagram A, right? And this is the induced EMF and induced current. So this you can find. Another one is induction stove, cookers, induction stove at our home, right? So here the concept is like this. On induction stove, if you have it your home, right, then you must have that experience. You have to use the special type of vessels only. Then only you will have that heating, right? So here that experiment is shown. There are two pot. One is metal pot and this one is a glass pot, right? This is made up of a glass pot, right? A vessel. So the water in the ferromagnetic pot, the metal pot is boiling, right? If you switch on the induction stove, but the water, right? If you touch stove top, even જે stove નું top છે એ તમે touch કરશો તો એ પણ cool હશે, because the induction energy is directly transferred with the help of induction principle to the water inside the metal. So this is the electromagnetic induction principle in which induction stove is employed. Your automobile control device, right? It's a complex mechanism, but that also uses this. When you switch on, give ignition key, and then fuel is injected, right? This is also one more application. This is a pickup coil in electric guitar, right? When you pick up this coil, there's a permanent magnet inside and it will amplify and you will have the sound amplified, right? So there are many such applications. You have moving coil microphone also. When you speak in front of microphone, the sound waves are generated of different amplitude and frequency depending upon your voice, and they touch the diaphragm. So the diaphragm will move to and fro, and the coil is wound on the diaphragm. So accordingly, your sound waves are generated into electrical signals with the help of this arrangement, and then it is sent to the amplifier. Right. Inside that diaphragm, you will have a magnet. So magnetic field is already there, and due to the movement of your sound wave, the coil moves to and fro. Right. So it is converted into the electrical energy, and that is transmitted. This is the simple electric generator, the principle application of Faraday's law, right? This too. This is the North Pole, stationary. This is the South Pole, both are stationary. And these red lines are the magnetic field, right? N to S, the field is produced. And this is a loop coil. This is the loop or the coil, right? And it is connected with the carbon brush and slip rings to collect the current. And this coil is actually rotated by some mechanical means, which is known as the prime mover. Right. So when this or by some mechanical means, when you rotate this coil inside, it will cut this magnetic field, right? And EMF is induced in the coil, and which is taken outside by the slip ring and brush arrangement. And if you connect some electrical load, it can light a lamp. The simple loop electrical generator. The same principle is used, and the more number of coils and some complex construction is used. Can you give the answer of this question? Currents circulate in a piece of metal that is pulled through a magnetic field. What are these currents called? Second question. Electromagnetic induction was discovered by Faraday, Henry, Maxwell, Booth, or E. The correct answer of this question. The first answer is eddy current, right?
Eddy current.
This is the correct answer, and here also the correct answer is D. Both Faraday and
Henry.
Third question. Direction that an induced current flows in a circuit is given by
Lenz's law.
Lenz law.
Lenz law.
Lenz law.
Lenz law.
So these are the correct answers.
Lenz law.
These are the correct answer to the objectives. Right. So with this we end today's presentation. Now if you have any query during this session, then you can ask. Otherwise, from next session we are going to start the transformer. So the basic working principle of transformer is again Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction.